Senator Dr. Rasha Khaled, CEO of Merck Foundation and President of Merck Foundation More Than a Mother and Chairperson of African Reproductive Care Societies. Dr. Rasha, please enlighten us with your keynote speech.
Harsh, introduce everyone and we will receive the questions immediately.
Sure. And we have an expert, Dr. Edgar Makanu. He's a president of International Federation of Fertility Societies, and he's also a consultant obstetrician gynecologist and a subspecialist in reproductive medicine and surgery. And he's also an honorary senior lecturer in reproductive and endocrinology, Royal College of Surgeons at Rotunda Hospital, Dublin. And we have our next expert, Professor Oldapo Ashiru. He's a Secretary General of International Federation of Fertility Societies, and he's a president of African Reproductive Care Societies and a president of the Academy of Medicine Specialties of Nigeria. So now I invite all the media representatives to ask questions. Request you to please introduce yourself and let us know your question addressed to our experts.
We need to start with Dr. Edgar because he has a short time, and he also wants to give us a brief about the next week first annual summit for raising awareness about infertility, which is conducted by IFFS and Merck Foundation and ASRE.
Senator Khaled, Professor Ashiru, a pleasure being here. The IFFS is truly delighted to partner both with Merck Foundation and the ARCs in bringing to the fore the important topic of infertility. The reason for this press conference and the activity next week on the 24th of June is that it is about time to discuss about infertility. June is the Global Infertility Awareness Month. And I think when we're talking about awareness, we're really talking about awareness not for patients, but awareness for the lay people, awareness for the press, awareness for the politicians, awareness for other healthcare providers that need to understand that infertility is a WHO recognized disease, and it should be treated accordingly in terms of allocation of funds, in terms of access for patients, in terms of therapy provided for all these patients. So I do not want to speak for too long, but the International Federation of Fertility Societies, IFFS, is very keen to bring infertility to the fore and put it out on the agenda of every politician on the planet for the safeguarding of medical interests of people with infertility. So we believe that the three of us are here today just to introduce you to what will happen next week. We have a large first summit on infertility awareness, and the plan is to have this every year to bring new topics and new regions. The IFFS has 65 countries. It's a federation of societies that look after infertility, and its main aim is to educate. We're educating healthcare providers. We're now creating awareness among politicians and lay people, but basically educate the people that look after the infertile. So next week on the 24th, we have a summit where we have invited the largest societies on the planet that deal with infertile patients and education and services. American Society for Reproductive Medicine, Aspire, patient groups like Resolve in the United States, Fruitful Vine from Nigeria, and also Fertility Europe. And I'm not going to divulge everything. It has to be an exciting time. You need to be curious and go and see what's the program looking like, and that program will be made available soon. But we're here just to say thank you for sending this message to the world that infertility matters, that care for people with infertility is as important as care for any other medical condition. So with that, I'll pass you back to Senator Khaled and look forward to any questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Edgar, and I'm looking forward to this summit as well on the 24th of June. And of course, the invitation has been sent to all media. The reason media is a very important part in this summit is media has a critical role. We believe that the most important partner to raise awareness in general about any sensitive topic, either health or social topic or cultural topic, is media, because they enter every house. And you have the role, which is important and very acknowledged by all of us, to educate, sensitize the community, be voice of the voiceless, and break the silence about the stigma of infertility, stigma of ending child marriage, ending FGM, ending gender-based violence. All these things, believe it or not, is related to infertility in a way or another. So gender-based violence mostly resulted from stigma of infertility, the pressure on the couples to have a baby, and how it is a taboo, and how it's only the women are blamed to be the cause of this, which is not correct, because 50% of the causes of infertility are due to male factors. And having infertility as a stigma and a taboo is not correct as well, because it's a condition, can be prevented and can be treated. And it's a shared responsibility between couples, husband and wife. It takes a man and a woman to have a child, and we want this message to be everywhere. And it's a shared responsibility not only with the couples, but also society and community and family. We should support the couple, the husband should support the wife, the society should support the couple, and don't put pressure on them. And this is what we are asking you to do, to try to raise awareness about this and put it everywhere until we normalize infertility to be like a normal thing, like a flu, like a diabetes, like anything that it is a condition and can be easily treated. And of course, help us also to raise awareness about infertility prevention, because prevention is very, very, very important in our case in Africa, because there is too many incidents, almost around between 75 to 85 studies has varied, 85 to 75% of infertility caused by untreated infectious diseases. And these diseases, infectious diseases, which is not treated early enough, can cause the complication, different complications lead to infertility. Hence, prevention awareness is very, very important. Hence, your role also is very, very critical. And we have a lot of awareness materials that we launched, and it's in all language, English, French, and Portuguese, about infertility prevention. It's been done by Merck Foundation in partnership with Africa Reproductive Care Society as well. So I need you to attend the summit on the 24th, because you will take a lot of good messages from everyone, all the esteemed guests and experts that Professor Edgar mentioned to you, and put it into the world, mostly in our beloved Africa. So I would like now to leave the floor also to Professor Ashiro, and then we will open immediately the floor for your questions. We are not going to be long, because I know there is a lot of interesting questions that you have for us.
Thank you very much, Rasha, Senator Rasha, for that introduction. You said it all. I think what is important is that one is happy that today and in this month we can be talking about infertility as a global topic, a subject that used to be kept within the corners of the house is now coming out. And that is a pride for us that this is happening in Africa, because in Africa, problems occur from infertility, starting from depression up to suicide. And the fact is that infertility is preventable in most cases. And many people go into infertility because of ignorance. And therefore, awareness and fertility education are critical. Next week, you'll be hearing a lot of problems that cause infertility that people go into without knowing. Things from the environment, things from the diet that can make people become infertile. And also infection, as mentioned. So, African Reproductive Care with IFFS and Merck, we believe that the problem of infertility, the burden is very high in Africa. And therefore, we are happy to join the whole world in putting emphasis to this, and also in increasing the access to care for infertility, and in also sensitizing governments all over Africa and all over the world to be able to help infertility treatment by increasing the access to care, by making available insurance for infertility, because it's not done in many places, and definitely by the realization that according to United Nations, having a baby is now a human right. So all help must be done to bring all hands on deck to help every family to be happy by having babies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ashiro, very, very much. I would like to also draw the attention of our esteemed media representative that we have interpretation below the screen for French and Portuguese. In case if anyone would like to listen to what we are saying in the front language. I know you are aware of this because we sent it to your email, but I wanted to ensure that you are you remember it. So Harsh, please, can you go ahead with the first question immediately?
Sure. Now I would like to invite Mr. Bukalo. He's from Nigeria. He would like to ask a question with our experts. Mr. Bukalo, please. Mr. Bukalo, can you hear us? So now we'll move to Ms. Lawrence from Ghana. Please ask your questions.
Unmute, please. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you for the opportunity. Please, my question is, infertility affects most men and women, but there are more programs tailored for women. And that's why people tend to think it only affects females. What is Merck Foundation doing to encourage more awareness programs to be tailored on men fertility?
Look, I mean, not only Merck Foundation is doing, but also IFFS is doing, and the Africa Reproductive Care Society is doing a lot of awareness in this demand, specifically to raise awareness about male infertility and encouragement to speak up and open a dialogue about this, so they can actually speaking about it openly and support their wives, go to the doctor and get tested together, because most probably 50% probability that he will be one of the causes, either joint causes or one cause. And therefore, we should completely forget about the taboo attached with this. We have to also, as you see, that we have more than a mother campaign, but we also created more than a father campaign, and we give that also men are more than just fathers. Even if they are the cause of infertility, it can be treated, it can be managed, and he can, if he joins the journey with his wife to have a child and go to the doctor together, they can have a very happy family. But in case if they don't have, there is nothing wrong. They are also still more than just fathers, more than just mothers, and they can be a productive member in society. And one thing I would like to ask Dr. Edgar to answer about, is there any relationship between infertility and the sexual ability or sexual power of a male, a man? I don't think there is, but I wanted you to explain this from the point of view of scientific point of view, because this is exactly the main reason why it is a taboo and it is a stigma for men, because they think if they don't have a child, then they are not men enough and they are not sexually able to, for example, perform with their wife, and this is going to be a very big taboo for them in society. Can you please comment on this, Dr. Edgar?
Thank you, Senator Khalej. There are two aspects to this. One is the medical hormonal environment. And indeed, sometimes men, like women, could have an endocrine condition where an erection doesn't happen, for example, due to certain hormones being high. One that comes to mind is called prolactin. So that is something that can be diagnosed and treated effectively, so there will be no issues with erectile dysfunction. Other causes for erectile dysfunction could be emotional, the pressure, the so-called stage fright, where men might feel that, as you said, they're not able to impregnate a woman and it just doesn't happen, and then out of the blue, they just cannot entertain a relationship. And that is also highly treatable with psychosexual counseling. Yet, it is relevant to understand that in a couple, there is a balance here. It's the amount of pressure that both the woman and the man feel in relation to the intercourse, and also the pressure of having to conceive. And the truth is that becoming pregnant is not an exam. You cannot prepare for it. You cannot write a paper and just get the top marks and then you become pregnant. And in fact, no woman will ever receive a degree because she just delivered a baby. So if you're asking me, how do we deal with these emotional areas and maybe a man feeling that he's not sufficient of a man, it's just being comfortable of receiving a diagnosis, having a discussion with a professional, and if there is a medical condition that can be treated, to be treated. If it's an emotional issue and a psychosexual issue, it can be addressed. And then the woman also to understand that becoming pregnant is about having intercourse 3 times a week, not necessarily finding the day when they should have intercourse, because that's when the pressure truly mounts up. So all these modern times of, oh, let's have apps and find out when to have sex, I tell my patients, this is not relevant. You do not need to listen to an app to tell you when to have an intimate relationship with your partner.
Yes, Dr. Ashiro, we know that male infertility is due to the either the number of sperms or the quality of sperm, and it's not really related to the sexual or the erectile problem, because many men, they perform very good, but they are still infertile, but they think that this is related, therefore they don't go to the doctor. Or they don't want to admit that they are infertile. Maybe the society will look at them as they are having problem in sexual ability. We want to ensure them that this is not the case. Can you please support that scientifically?
Yes, it is. In my experience of over 42 years now in practice, most men think that if they are able to have sexual relation with their wife and they are ejaculating, that their wife should be pregnant. And I tell them that sometimes the ejaculate may contain no bullet. So it needs to have the sperms in it. But the good thing which I've noticed over the years is that because of the fact that there is now a solution to low sperm count, the technique of intracytoplasmic sperm injection, where we can take a few sperms from the sperm cell and inject it directly into the eggs of the woman, has made men to know that there is a treatment for their own infertility.
Yes.
And therefore, the number of men accompanying their wives to the clinics is now on the rise. And this is why this summit is very important, because men need to know that if their wife is not getting pregnant, both of them should come for treatment, for evaluation, and that there is solution to address this matter in both cases. Even they should know that even sometimes the sperm may be in the testes and we can extract it, and that will prevent away. Because I think the fear of discovering that they are not fertile and there is no treatment has been the problem that has been making them draw back in the past. So I think this is very important.
So I think media can take very important 2 messages here, that male infertility is a condition, can be treated, has no relationship with the sexual ability or the intercourse ability between him and his wife at all. It does not stigmatize him, or it does not put him in a weak position, because as we said, whatever it is can be managed. And also male and female are equally responsible for infertility. 50% of the causes of infertility due to male factor and 50% due to female factor. Now we can move to the second question.
Okay, so now I would like to invite Bukola Afeni from Nigeria. You can ask your question, our experts.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Okay. My question is to Dr. Edgar. I want to ask, we know pretty well that some couples they don't get married due to education or maybe career growth and all that. So what measures are you putting in place to ensure that they are well captured or they have enough knowledge about infertility? Thank you.
Thank you. Very relevant question. I like it a lot. It is true, the pressures in society are absolutely enormous. Everybody puts their career first. Everybody wants a house, a car, waiting for the perfect partner. And this is the biggest mistake. Fertility does not wait, neither for the woman nor for the man. There's only a fixed period in a woman's life between 13 and maybe about 43 when she has a good chance to get pregnant. But from 37, there's a great drop, at least on the woman. So what are we doing? We're asking what is the IFFS doing? Firstly, I'd invite you to visit the IFFS website. We have an infographic campaign that we started in the middle of COVID. It was called Fertility During COVID-19 Pandemic, and we encouraged patients to actually go and see the doctor. Seek help. If you are infertile, go in and talk to somebody. Do not wait. I know that the group of people you asked me is not the infertile, but just to say that we started with those ones. If you do not get pregnant, do not stay at home. You need to go and see a doctor. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we do create awareness. And I'm delighted that you asked the question. If you would like to check the chat.
Dr. Edgar? There is freeze.
Hello?
There is freeze in Dr. Edgar.
The Dr. Edgar's screen is
yeah, he can enter again.
But let me continue what he was saying.
Sure.
That if you check the chart for fertility, you can see that for the woman, it decreases the age of 37, and it's a very, very down-slopey slope. And so people need to be aware of this. And also, I think Dr. Edgar.
It's okay. I don't know why the line dropped, but thank you, Professor Shiro. So I was just saying that if you want to go and look in the chat, you will see that IFFS every single day has placed an awareness message to the world this month on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And we have organized it according to gender. So this week is all about the woman. And next week will be all about the man. The following week will be all about politician and creating awareness. So that's what we're doing. We need to start educating everybody. We need to create a world where people are super informed, and we can create the message, but we cannot amplify them enough. It's you that can amplify them. So that's why we're here to talk to you, to say, go and look at the IFFS account or Merck Foundation. Say, okay, we amplify this. We tell everybody, hey, have you read today's message that IFFS has put on Facebook? What does it say? Oh, only 400 days in the lifetime of a woman when she can get pregnant. Okay, wow. Does anybody of you know that? Only 400 days. It's all there. So go into the IFFS Facebook pages, LinkedIn, and just read, say, like, send it to everybody. Say, this is the reality. Everybody needs to know. Thank you.
So, Dr. Ashiro, when is the couples can be infertile? How many years of regular intercourse before they seek help for infertility?
We say that for somebody who has just been married in their 20s and early 30s, they should wait for 1 year before they seek help if they've been having regular intercourse. Between 9 months to 12 months. If nothing is happening, they need to seek help. Also, We have also further modified that if you are above 35 years old and you have just been married, you cannot afford to wait for 1 year. You should, once you've done it for 6 months trial, you should begin to seek help. Lastly, I also wanted to add that for the women in particular, because you know that this fertility is going to decline with age. If, for example, your work is so engaging, or because you have not been able to find your Mr. Right, your right husband, and the age is coming, now in Nigeria, people are now coming forward to freeze their egg, and so that when they now have the right husband, they have their egg stored that can now be used. If you store your egg at the age of 35, 36, it's better than you marry at 45 and there may be very few eggs. So this is one point that will be added, and we'll be talking more about this next week.
And this is mostly for career women who is delaying yeah, and then they will have, of course, the financial mean to do this in case of low income and middle income. They will be marrying in the right time. Most probably, actually, we are advocating to postpone the marriage a little bit to be above 18, not a child marriage. So it's a completely different story between this and career women who delay the pregnancy. And Dr. Ashiru,
because many of them come and they tell me that, oh, if they had known that this can be done, they will have done it. Now it's too late. They have to use donor egg.
Exactly. True. And this is also a very good, because we said it's a World Infertility Awareness Month. We are talking to everyone in the world, in Europe, in Australia, in US, in Africa, in Asia, Middle East, everywhere. So of course there is different environment, different conditions that people are in, and we are talking to all of them. So can we have the next question?
Yes, Dr. Asha. So I would like to invite Cassian from DRC. Please ask your question, and also request media representatives to raise your hands for the question. So we'll invite you next.
Great.
Cassian, are you on mute? Please unmute yourself.
Hi, Cassian.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy. I have just one question. I want to know, in Africa, we have a problem of understanding. Men don't understand why they can be near their wives to help them being more aware of the situation, so that, like a support for their women in the situation, because people in the community think that the responsibility of being not able to give birth is just for the women. So what can you do to allow those men to be near their wives so that they can help them to be more, have a good moral capacity to face the situation from the pressure that community give to them?
Can I answer this question? Okay, it's your role. It's you. It's like exactly what we're talking to you at the moment, the media. To change a mindset, you need too many things. I don't think it would be from the scientific platform as much as from the community sectors all over. Through education. Okay, education is very, very important. Through information that is accessed by the media at all levels, from social media to change a mindset, to make it a normal thing. It would also to make it a wrong thing that husband is not supporting the wife. Demonstrating stories, videos, things that they are always, even in short films, in documentary films, in drama films. This is how songs, video clips, storybooks for children. This is how you create a culture shift. And this is exactly what Merck Foundation is doing, of course, on the scale what we can manage. We have storybooks for children to say that husband should support his wife. And if he's doing this, it's not correct, he's not a good man. He should be there, and why? Because he can be responsible for it. And if it's not responsible, he should have love and respect for his wife, whether she have children or not. Not to run for another one, just without having the fight with her, and make sure that they are exploded all the causes. Secondly, songs. We have created many songs that it can be affected to the young people, appealing to the young people. They can hear the message over and over and over again. So it comes in the subconscious of their brain and will become a normal thing. And then films and videos. There are stories of women who suffered with infertility and suffered with abandonment of their husbands because they are just infertile. And most of them, they are not the cause of infertility. And because the husband, for example, went for another wife and he did not have children, and another wife and he does not have children, another wife doesn't have children, and yet he doesn't understand. So the information has to be delivered to him through also media, newspapers, TV, radio, online, social media, wherever the access he is going to. We created also a TV show. It's called Our Africa by Merck Foundation, where we address this even through fashion and arts and films and so on. So I think, as anything else, before HIV was a taboo, and now with all this accessibility with media and interventions with different settings become normal and not a taboo anymore, infertility will be the same. And once it's not a taboo, men will deal with it as a normal disease. As they support the wife when she has a cold or diabetes or hypertension or cancer, they can also support her when there's infertility on the thing. I also want to see if Dr. Edgar or Dr. Ashir want to add to this. Any?
Yes, what I want to add to this is that this cultural shift must start right from education at school. The understanding while even in school that the equality between male and female, that the man should help the wife, and they should be a partner together in this issue. I think those are the things that need to be done to help that these people can have that cultural shift from growing up. I think when we were growing up in the early ages, things were the reverse, and that's what gave the men, the thinking that going to a clinic with your wife is not done. Why should a man go to a clinic? Now things need to change, and people need to accept it. Years ago, when people come to my clinic for infertility, they like to come through the back door. They don't want people to see them that they are. But like you said, Rasha, infertility is just another disease, like diabetes, like hypertension, and they can be treated. So that should be the cultural shift. We must demystify infertility as something that has been a cause from somewhere, but it's just a normal thing, and it can be prevented. Thank you.
Great. Next question.
Yeah, I would like to invite Kaumi from Nigeria. Please ask your question.
Unmute.
Kaumi, unmute yourself, please.
Tommy, unmute yourself.
Yes, he's there, Dr. Asha.
Est-ce que l'infertilité est synonyme de stérilité? Est-ce que l'infertilité est synonyme de stérilité? Est-ce que les deux choses, c'est la même chose? Ça, c'est la première question. Maintenant, la deuxième question est de savoir qu'est-ce que la Fondation Merck fait pour pouvoir aider les couples qui n'ont pas de moyens pour pouvoir faire les soins. Et la dernière question de savoir quel est l'impact du mode de vie sur la fertilité, l'impact du mode de vie. Je vais parler de l'environnement, l'alimentation, ainsi de suite. Quel est leur impact sur la fertilité du couple? Merci beaucoup.
I don't know, Kami, we cannot hear you, so it cannot be interpreted.
I can reply. Senator Kelej, I can reply to this.
Okay.
Great.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Firstly, l'infertilité et la stérilité sont deux choses différentes. Stérilité est impossible à faire un bébé naturellement. Infertilité est possible, mais il faut que vous preniez un traitement. La deuxième, je ne peux pas répondre parce que c'est une question pour Merck. Que Merck a fait. Mais Merck a fait beaucoup de choses. Sénateur Kelej va parler de ça. La troisième.
One minute. Can please I ask an interpretation? Why is he not interpreting? I think it's clear. Because I can't hear the interpretation in English.
I can speak in English because it's an international one. So the sterility and infertility are different. Sterility is basically you cannot get pregnant naturally. The man has no sperm. He needs some sort of intervention, including assisted reproductive technology with biopsy and injection of sperm in the female egg. Infertility is treatable. You investigate the couple, you identify a cause, you give a tablet or so on, and the woman gets pregnant. That's infertility. The last question is in relation to how the environment, how our lifestyles have impacted. The first impact is the fact that men and women don't come together until the woman is 40 or 45 and she says, oh God, I forgot to have a baby. Maybe I'll find somebody. That's the first cause today. The second cause is the environment. We live in a polluted world and we're not selective. And many times there's nothing we can do. It's in the water, it's in the food, it's in everything. The third one is lifestyle. We work and work and work, and we do not set aside time to have an intimate relationship. Somebody was asking all the time, what can couples do? That's what they can do to find a work-life balance. You need to go back into having a relationship. Getting pregnant is not about pressing a button on a telephone. It's about having a relationship with your woman, or your man. That's when you get pregnant. So yes, it impacts severely. Now, I don't want to be very rude, but I'm in the middle of a clinic and I'm very open telling the audience. So I can't be pretending that I look after patients if I don't go and look after them. So I'm very happy to take a final question if you don't mind. And I'm truly delighted to be here. And I really look forward to seeing all of you in next week at the summit. It's a great opportunity to spread the word of goodness, of making babies, of supporting people, men and women that have infertility.
And break the stigma of infertility.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Next question to Dr. Edgar, please.
Yeah, I would like to invite Aliu Kessi from the Gambia. Please ask your question.
All right. Very much, Vaisya. Good to see you again. Aliu is here in Gambia, but I'm currently in Abuja. But it's good to be on this meeting. I have three questions that I want to ask Professor Pedro. The first question is, what is the statistics of infertility on the continent at the moment? Second question is, what is its impact on women as far as the issue of infertility is concerned? And then the final question is, how can mental stress affect the fertility process? Those are the questions. Thank you.
Dr. Edgar.
So I'll start with stress. How can stress affect infertility quite severely? In women, for example, stress can cause lack of ovulation, periods disappearing, increased production of hormones, for example, prolactin, and they all reduce the likelihood to conceive. In men also can affect, and as I mentioned before, this issue of stage fright, of performance. Man is so stressed out about this pressure to have an erection that they actually stop having an erection. So they're quite significant. I can't remember what the other two questions were. The line was a bit poor. Can I get a short reminder?
Yes, the other questions, what is the current statistics of fertility on the continent and its impact on women?
Yes, correct. The impact is quite significant. People find it very difficult to count another period, no pregnancy, relationships become tense. They don't understand why it doesn't happen. So it can be relieved by having investigations. It can be relieved by talking to a person that understands fertility and can investigate, do tests, get answers for them. I think this is when the stress is reduced. It also can be relieved by the fact of understanding that there's no specific way to have a relationship to become pregnant immediately. It's about having a good regular sex life. So that's the relief and the relationship, the effect upon relationships. And many times people actually break up, they just cannot resist the pressure of not pregnant. So they getting a diagnosis is therapeutic in that way.
Can I also add that sometimes what happens is that the couple is married, they are staying with their relations, and there's a lot of pressure on them, and there's a lot of stress, and they decide to relocate to another environment, and without doing anything, they're able to get pregnant. So there is no doubt that stress of the environment, of the relations, and pressure from in-laws can create a lot of stress. And that is why if they're able to move alone and be together by themselves, they're able to then just have their baby easily. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Keleja, Professor Ashiro, may I be excused? And of course,
yes,
the
please.
audience.
Yes,
I would love to be with you for another while, but I truly have to go. And thank you so much. And I look forward to the summit next week. What a wonderful opportunity. I placed my email in the chat. So if the press wants to specifically ask a question, I'm very happy to reply. So please send it to me. It's in the chat, the email. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See you
on the Friday, 24th of June, from 14 hours to 16 hours GMT.
Thank you so much. A pleasure being here.
We have the
wish you a
opportunity
good
to
afternoon and
hear
day.
the
Thank
news
you.
from America, from all over the regions.
Experts from everywhere. Yes.
That's correct. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Doctor.
We are going to continue with you, our dear media, me and Professor Ashiro, and we are going to answer all your questions. Just want to remind you that also in our quest and objectives and mission to build fertility care capacity, quality and equitable, we have provided scholarships for 396 scholarships for doctors from 35 countries in fertility management, in embryology training, in 1-year diploma and 2-year master degree reproductive care and sexual care from UK University. And this is really huge because we made history by Merck Foundation training the first fertility specialist and first embryologist in many, many countries, never had one before, such as Sierra Leone, Liberia, Gambia, Burundi, Malawi, and Zambia and Zimbabwe. And we, of course, when we started in 2016, we trained the first, but now we are in the way to train the second, the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. And we have great teams of experts in each of these countries, which never had this specialty before. And I assure you, this will help, if not helped already, decrease the fertility stigma and eliminate it a little bit by little bit, of course, because change mindset takes time, but also support the women, reduce the stress, because when they know, couples in general, their help in their homeland, they don't have to have a lot of money to travel abroad or so on, they will be under less stress and relieved, and this will help very, very much to manage even the small little intervention that we didn't have before in their home land. Not everything in fertility has to go to IVF. There is a lot of intervention, early intervention that can help the couples to have a happy family. So I will receive the second question, the next question.
Sure, Dr. Asha. I would like to invite Neverji Lomo from Liberia. You can ask your question. Are you there, Never?
Noah?
So next question from from Effie from Zambia.
Okay. Effie? Is she online?
Yes,
Yes,
Dr.
I
Asha.
am. Yes,
Hi.
I am.
How
Hi.
are you?
Fine, thank you.
Hello.
And how are you?
Fine.
My question is directed to you, Dr. Rasha. What led you to start your iconic campaign, Merck Foundation More Than a Mother, to break stigma associated with infertility?
The story and you creating it, I mentioned it before, I was in Uganda in awareness campaign about diabetes and hypertension. I met few women there in a rural area, one of the villages in Tororo, and they told me that they have already diabetes and hypertension because they are infertile. So I said there is no connection between the two diseases, but they said no, because we are infertile, we are facing a lot of stress and pressure and stigma and discrimination and physical and abuse, and they told me horror stories about what they're facing either from husband or mother-in-law or family or community in general. They look at them down and they have no purpose and they lost their purpose in life. In that moment, I realized that we have to do something about this, and we have to create something saying that women are more than just mothers, and whether they have children or not, they still should be respected and appreciated and can be members of society. And this goes hand in hand with girls' education and ending child marriage, because when you give the girl for marriage when she's so young, she loses her opportunity to be independent and educated and strong woman, and she has also lose opportunity to have access to information that protect her basic rights of having child or not, and how to seek for help. All this came together in More Than a Mother. Then we came up with the Jacqueline story. Jacqueline, which is a lady from Kenya, Dr. Professor Ashiro and I visited her in Kenya together. When she suffered the brutal violence from her husband because of the inability to have a child, although she is not the infertile one, but also he was under stress and pressure, and he cut her own 2 hands. And this was brutal. And I said, that's it, we are online. And I spoke to Professor Frank Steinberg-Haberkamp, the chairman of Merck Foundation, and he say, I'm behind you, start the campaign. And we started the campaign with the objective is to improve access to information, education, health, and change of mindset, and most of times also economic empowerment for these childish women to be independent and have another purpose in life more than only waiting to have a child. So, and many things came, of course. If you follow the More Than a Mother, you have a lot of initiative. We've done this in partnership. Professor Ashiro was with me as a partner in More Than a Mother from the start, from 2015, and continue till today. So he's seen the whole history. I invite him to talk also about it, because he's seen the whole campaign and how it evolved until it became a movement at the moment.
Yes, I think I'm happy to talk about this. When history of infertility services in Africa is going to be written, I believe that Senator Dr. Rasha Kelly's name will be written in gold. Why? Is because from that period to now, you see the division that has occurred from Merck More Than a Mother to becoming a Merck Foundation is enormous. They have been able to, from no IVF centers in most parts of Africa, we now have IVF centers in Tanzania, all over.
Burundi. Now the first IVF center opened in Burundi last month.
Yes, they are setting up IVF centers. They are training the manpower. The local people there are being trained. They're being sent abroad to be trained, and then they come back so that they are encouraged to come back and practice in their area. So now, as of 2001, there are probably 2 IVF centers or 3 in Africa. Today, there are almost 90 IVF centers all over Africa, countries. So I think they've done well. And not only that, they are now trying to, infertility is now becoming a household name that we can talk about and discuss. And this is also what this summit is all about. Anytime you get to Dr. Rasha and you talk about helping infertility, she's ready to come on board. One thing I've also going forward is that in America, in Europe, we have patient advocacy group that help to mobilize this campaign. We've invited Fruitful Vine Africa to join because now Africa is going to be making legislation on ART, but we need the input of patients who have experienced IVF or those who are still experiencing it to form a society. And we're getting people who have volunteered from Kenya, from Ghana, from Nigeria, and Southern Africa to come together and make a voice to get this. And I'll be getting them hooked up with Merck Foundation. I'm sure that Rasha will be ready to assist them in being able to function along this line so that when we get to WHO, Africa's voice is also heard from the patient's viewpoint. Thank you very much.
Next question.
Yeah, now I would like to invite Veronica from Tanzania.
Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Doctor. And hi, everyone in this meeting today. I'm Veronica Mrema from the United Republic of Tanzania. And my question is, since 2017, when Merck started the advocacy on reproductive health, I want to know that if there is any positive change. Yes, positive changes, especially in eradicating stigma. If you're not there, and if there is a challenges, which challenges are still there? Thank you.
Thank you. As Professor Ashiru just said now, that the impact and the change is amazing. We had, for example, 4 awards that we are launching every year. One for Media Recognition Award, one for Fashion Award, and one for Film Award and Song Award. And we ask the talent across Africa to send their creativity that address to breaking the stigma of infertility and supporting girls' education, because I believe they are very, very, very connected. We receive, in the first year, it was like tens of applications. Now we receive hundreds of applications. That this is by itself proof that people are now sensitized. You go to Google. When I started in 2014, when you Google infertility in Africa, it was only as an IVF Dr. Ashiru come into the Google. That's it. It was only him. Now you open, you find hundreds of articles about infertility, stigma, breaking stigma. Couples are talking about their infertility and how they got baby. And so it's many pages. Please try this when you go back and just write infertility Africa. You see how many pages come to talk about this. This was not the case before at all. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody also was knowing that infertility can be caused by men, even from most of the media in Africa. Therefore, we had the media training also running from 2017 till today to have scientific doctor to talk to the media and to give them the scientific facts, to separate myth from misconception, and to eliminate the role of herbal medicine and all this witch doctors and so on, and tell them what is the scientifically true and how it is not a stigma and so on. So I think the impact is huge. Now we have 20 first ladies are ambassadors of More Than a Mother talking about infertility. We have the president of Liberia, Mr. George Weah, His Excellency Mr. George Weah, created a song to talk to African men about infertility and how they support their wives. We have a song from the former First Lady of Burundi and the current daughter of the President of Burundi, made by herself about infertility, plus 25 songs from different countries. So I think it's going really, really, really fast, but sure, and the impact and the change is being created in a shorter time that we anticipated actually. Because everyone said cultural shift can take a long time, but like years, decades, but we, within this, from 2014, 15 till now, we have achieved a lot of equal decades.
Let me add to that. It is significant. It is extremely significant. And the way that Merck Foundation has worked using First Ladies of Africa has been a booster for this. Now, in my own experience, in my clinic, 20 years ago, you would see in that clinic only ladies waiting to get treatment. If you come to my clinic now, rarely do you see a woman coming alone. The husband is next to them, because they now know and they've been told that if a woman comes alone for infertility, the success rate is not as high for that woman than if she is accompanied by her husband to that clinic. You can imagine the emotional support and the ability to even find out that the husband has one or two problems and treating the two together. So that shift is now there, and I think that, as she said, cultural shift. I can tell you that in another 10 years, one, assisted in reducing the cost of infertility in Africa, because people are now going to be preventing it. And two, there will be more openness to discussing infertility, like discussing hypertension or any other thing. We know that in Africa, generally, we don't even like to discuss that we're ill at all. Somebody has cancer, they don't want to talk about it. Until they die, they will now say that, okay, he died of cancer. Unlike other, but we want to shift it to that level where you can accept it because you get more help quicker. Thank you.
Next question.
Next question is from Matthias, DRC.
Hello, Matthias.
Matthias, can you ask your question?
Oui, madame.
Yes. Yes, Matthias, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
Ça va.
Go ahead.
Yes, Matthias, you can ask your question. We can hear you.
Oui, ma question est la suivante. Pouvez-vous, s'il vous plaît, expliquer les termes IUI, IC, SI, FIV, de manière à ce que les gens ordinaires puissent les comprendre? Et dans quelle mesure ces procédures sont-elles sûres et quels sont les taux de réussite?
I think he meant XC and IVF. IVF, yeah. Okay, Dr. Ashiru.
I didn't hear the question.
Yes,
Can somebody translate?
He wants you to explain the terminology of XC and IVF. What is the terminology is?
STI.
No, XT, that XT.
Oh, XT. Okay.
XT
I
and
get
IVF.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
IVF is the first to start, in which the egg from the woman, maybe because the tubes are blocked, you bring it out, then you get the sperm, and then you put them together in a dish in the laboratory, and you culture it for 3 days. And the sperm will swim to meet the egg and fertilize it in the dish, and it will grow to an embryo. And then you can now put back the embryo into the woman.
Yeah, that's why it's called in vitro fertilization. In vitro means fertilization outside the body.
Outside the body. It's only going to stay outside the body for 3 days, and you put it back. ICSI is where the sperm is low. So the sperm cannot swim and fertilize the egg on its own. So you have to get the sperm with an instrument and inject it into the egg. We call it fertilization by brute force. So there's a machine that enables you to penetrate the egg and release the sperm. And so we call it intracytoplasmic sperm injection. That is, you are injecting the sperm into the cytoplasm of the egg directly.
Inside the body or outside?
It's outside the body. It's all in the dish. You get the dish, you get the sperm, and you inject it. With a microscope, you can see the sperm, and you can inject it. And then it will now grow for 3 days, like instead of swimming, you are fertilizing it in the lab. So they are all done in the test tube in the lab. And then once it's grown, you can now put it back. The IUI is used for low sperm.
Yeah. IUI?
IUI is a different one. In that one, the sperm is washed and processed. And then you introduce the sperm into the fallopian tube.
Inside the body?
No, into the uterine cavity. So the sperm can go from the vagina through the cervix into the uterine cavity, and then the sperm can now swim. The problem that is used because for some women, the cervix is too tight, or they have some immunity there. So, or the sperm is not so high, but it's not too low. But if you put the sperm nearer to the tube, it will just go a small distance than going from the vagina to the tube. So that is intrauterine insemination. So you inseminate into the uterus.
So it's all these technologies to overcome types of infertility. And of course, there is also ovulation induction, which is only by injection or tablets, and then you leave them to have intercourse. So there is too many things that we as media, to be frank, we don't need to be aware of it. In case if you have any question or you want to present it in your newspaper or whatever, you invite a doctor to talk about it in details. But I don't advise that anyone just writes about it by themselves in the media. It has to be quoted via a doctor like Professor Ashiro, of course.
Correct.
Yeah. So next question.
Yeah, next question is from Soli Joanne from Botswana. Soli?
Soli, hi.
Unmute yourself, Soli.
Unmute yourself.
Yes. No, unmute again. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
By the way, in my country it's morning. I don't know if it's morning, that's why.
It's morning in Nigeria and afternoon here in Dubai.
I thank you so much. My question is, how unattended is the problem of male infertility, and how as society, how do we acknowledge that adequately?
How did we what?
how do we acknowledge that adequately?
Adequately, the male infertility.
Yeah.
And how? What do you mean? How to acknowledge it? As media or as whom?
As
how
society.
unattended.
Society.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think there is a lot of work going on to focus on male infertility. Before now, every energy on infertility was directed towards the woman. And that was why in vitro fertilization was invented. But when the men started shouting that how can they help them, then we invented IUI, so you can inseminate, and then ICSI. And we have even gone beyond ICSI. There are some men, they have sperm, but they can't produce it. There's obstruction. So we can now go to their testes and aspirate the sperm. So really, men is being attended to in terms of their infertility problem. And even now, there is a new technology to produce sperm cells from other stem cells in the body. So that is so that men, you don't have to use donor sperm. You can get sperm made from your tissue. So that is still coming on. That is a research level now. So there is a lot of activity going on to help men.
Yeah, so there is a lot of scientific measures, but I think Solly meant as a community. You know, in fact, that the fact that all the questions today is about male infertility, it's by itself revolution. Because before, nobody even was addressing that. They were always thinking about women and so on. So I think after we finish the press conference and everyone asks a question, he will force write the answer and the question, and we will have the live stream in your outlets and media, and people will read about it. And this is what exactly we want you to do after you finish here. You talk about male infertility, talk about it over and over and over and over again. And with all the concepts and perspective that we give you now, and that men support their wife and should they go tested with their wives, and all the technologies that the Dr. Ashiru told you about it, and how it can be treated easily. And it's not like any taboo or stigma. It has nothing to do with the sexual ability and so on. This is the way that we address the male infertility in society and try to normalize it and open a dialogue about it and speak up about it. Stories, also address stories of men who suffered, for example, infertility and got treated and have babies. They can share this experience with us in different outlets.
Good.
Next question.
Yeah, next question is from Victor Muturi from Kenya. Victor, you can ask your question.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, my name is Victor Muturi from Kenya. Actually, mine is concerned about. I'm concerned about the male infertility and the way they are here, maybe especially African male. I think I can say that it's ego. They don't want to come out and speak that they have this problem. Mine is not really a question, but I'm just asking if how can we get those men who can speak? Because if you have in your list some of the men who can speak, especially in Kenya, we can go on and do the question, do the stories, and also create awareness to other people. Because I've really tried to look for them. They are there, but because of ego, they don't want to come out and talk. So I'm asking to how can you help me get them, especially in Kenya, for me to do the stories and create awareness and inform people and educate people. Of course, we have experts around, but getting the case studies is a problem. Thank you.
Dr. Ashir.
I think
maybe you can get someone from Nigeria to talk to them.
There was a case in, I think, was it Kenya or Uganda, where he came to speak. He volunteered.
They have videos about it,
he came for that he didn't know he was the one, and they gave him treatment, and he was now able to get pregnant. There are some men that have spoken in Nigeria success story of their issues. But it's still it's still a long way for us. And I think with this summit opening up, right now we will have women now coming up to talk about their experience. Very soon we'll be able to pick some men to talk about their experience. Some of them have spoken on television in interview, but not many are coming like the frequency of the women. It's still a long way. It's still a work that we have to do in Africa, definitely.
Let us always try, if we don't have heroes to speak about infertility in our own country, let us dig and ask for other countries, because other countries will be in a different stage now and they can talk. If I am you and I am in media and I'm looking for a story and I cannot find, I will be looking at the celebrities in Hollywood or Bollywood who talked about the infertility, male infertility, and I start to transfer this information to my newspaper. And this will encourage people, because always people like to imitate the influential people and celebrities and so on. And then they will see it's okay, it's normal to talk about it. Let us also, and it will be like, it will be my approach if I am the one who is doing this. In our social media in Merck, we had 2 cases of men who talked, one from Uganda and one from Kenya. And they are already had baby now. That's why the reason they are talking. But if someone infertile and never had a baby we will not talk. This is for sure. And we cannot change that at the moment, but maybe in the future. But again, look in Europe, social media now give everyone. Just write celebrities, male celebrity who had infertility problem. Maybe it would come something that you can put in your newspaper or new media, and this will encourage others. What do you think, Professor Ashiru?
That's a good idea. Excellent idea. We need to start bringing those stories, success stories from abroad to change our own people here. Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah. I will do this exercise when I finish. I will look to find who is there. Next question.
So the next question is from Ijeoma Okazu from Nigeria. Ijeoma.
Good morning.
Good
it's
morning.
Morning here in Nigeria, Lagos. Yes. So my question is to Dr. Ashiru. So do we have special support programs in Africa for infertile women to connect with each other? And on stigma, second question, what advice can you give to family members who have resorted to the blame game, putting all the infertility issue on the woman? What's your advice to them? Thank you.
Well, let me start the first one. The advice for such people, you know that I've been writing a column in the Nigerian newspaper since 2005, and that has been helping to let them know that infertility is not the problem of the woman alone. It's both. And when things like that happen, they can go on the internet and see some of those examples that it is not only my fault. And they should, rather than blame, they should seek help from a doctor. And no doctor will say that it is your blame, it is your fault. They will say that let's look at both of you together and solve the problem. And that is the best way to do it. We are trained not to give a blame to one person, to make it collective. And to your second question, there are a lot of women support group coming up, and many are doing it. Some of them have ended up developing social media groups to help other women. Some of them even go around clinics and assess them and tell you which one is good. And now we are, since I became the Secretary General of the IFFS, one of my objectives is to help to form a very powerful patient-oriented advocacy group like the Resolve in America or the IVF Europe. This group comes to different meetings and they they help to influence what the doctors do and practice about IVF, because they are talking from their own experience or from the experience of those who have not succeeded. So that has been happening, and they've got participation from North America, from most of the West Africa and Kenya, and they're looking to recruit more. And so you will meet the speaker, the president, on the 24th of June during the summit. She'll be speaking, and you may chat with her and maybe help to work with that group. Also, I need to let you know that at this summit, we have all the fertility societies, regional, are going to be attending. Even the Francophone countries to be attending. And so it's an opportunity for us to see the experience of infertility as it occurs in America or in Europe or in Latin America, South America. So we have a very great opportunity. And I thank Merck Foundation for working with IFFS to put this show, and the African Reproductive Care Society. African Reproductive Care Society was also formed out of this need to energize the African people. So it's not just that doctors alone should be speaking about infertility. Doctors, nurses, embryologists, pharmacists, social workers, and other people who have interest, and journalists to work with this society. We had our first summit this March, and it was well attended. We had almost 400 people attending. And next year we'll continue until we can energize the whole of Africa. Because if you look at the success, the fertility rate and the access to care in Africa is like 0.5%, whereas in other countries, they are talking about 60, 70%. So we have a long way to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ashiru.
Thank you.
Next question.
Next question is from Fiza Ghana. Fiza, can you ask your question?
Yeah.
Fiza,
are you here? Maybe unmute.
Hello.
Are you there?
Hi.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jifa. How are you?
My name is Jifa from Ghana. My question will go to, I am fine, thank you. And you?
Fine.
I'm fine, thank you. And you? Okay.
I'm fine. Thank you.
My question goes to, all right. My question goes to Dr. Khaled. I would like to know, schools play a major role in educating young minds on social issues. Is there any plan to get more of the young people involved in this subject? Because sometimes young people make mistakes that cost them in future. And then if they are also well educated, they would know that it is wrong to stigmatize other childless couples.
Definitely. This is very, very good. And I believe they're very, very much in that. If you want to shape our character, you start from childhood. And we have the opportunity to do that. You see this storybooks, David's storybook and Stuart to David in English, French, and Portuguese. We distribute these books. It's about a couple who faced infertility, and they are very, very in love together. And he was almost going to think that his wife is the reason, but the doctor told him, we need to test you. And he didn't believe that he was the reason, but he said, okay, I'll go to test anyway. And he discovered that he is the reason, and they get treated, and he had a happy family. And they show you, of course, the journey while they're doing this and what he hears from his friends. what he hears from his mother and family, and how he stood up to them and supported his wife with all the love and respect. This is a story, for example, we distribute on children, and not only that, but also we put it on YouTube on a reading format and on our social media, and we send it to the websites of different libraries, e-libraries and schools. And we every year we distribute them. And of course, we also have something about educating Linda, and because education is very, very, very important, and also Rescue Jacqueline, which is also very important to end child marriage and support girls' education. A Ride into the Future, also a story to emphasize about overcoming the challenges that can prevent a woman or girl from having an education, and hence, if she has any problem related to her infertility, she has no information how to have to know her rights, and also she has no information how to address this problem and how to talk to her husband. She virtually has no other career to make her feel that she is more than a mother, and of course she will accept any bad treatment. And therefore, education and breaking the stigma of infertility is hand in hand, and we focus very much on children on this. But also, if you are in Ghana, please tune in GH1 TV every Sunday at 1:30, every Monday at 2 p.m. and you will see our Africa by Merck Foundation TV show. While every episode we are doing, we are addressing a topic: ending child marriage, one episode; supporting girls' education, another episode; breaking the stigma of fertility, many other episodes, through fashion and art with purpose. So therefore, it's very, very interesting, very entertaining to children, to young people, because we talk to them in their own language to make a change through fashion, through style, through art, through songs, through video clips, and so on. So it's really going to make a huge change. And currently it is aired on KTN Kenya and NTV Uganda, and we are looking, Professor Ashiru, to approach someone in Nigeria, TV in Nigeria, so also we can air it. It's really, really amazing. We put all our songs in it. We put all the fashion designs and so on to make a change for children and young people, which we believe this is the way forward to make any culture shift.
That's good. And also, by June 24th, we have our first World Summit on infertility. So at the end of this, we should be able to produce some resolutions that we can now send to different groups based on what they affect. Resolutions to journalists to promote this, resolutions to government agencies all over the country, because this will be an assembly of, it's almost like a world assembly. And then we can make resolutions for different people to ensure that they can put it in the curriculum of children and things like that. This will come up at the end of our summit next week.
I'm so excited. It will be on the 24th of June. Yes. Exactly time between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Dubai time, which is for 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. GMT. So I want all of you to be there. It will be live streamed as well, and will be broadcasted after that because we're gonna record it, so you can also watch it. Next question.
So the next question is from Gracious, Zimbabwe. Gracious, can you ask your question?
Gracious?
Gracious?
Unmute.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I hope
Hello.
you can hear me. I'm having network challenges. My question is directed to Dr. Rasha.
Yes.
We have heard about the Empowering Banner initiative that helps childless women. Can you tell us how we are supporting women through this initiative?
Professor Ashiro was with me in many of these events. We do economic empowerment for women who cannot have children anymore in different countries. Of course, in partnership with our ambassadors in each country, so we can reach them because they are in rural area and so on. So we are doing this in Namibia, in Burundi, in Malawi. We've done it also in Guinea-Conakry previously, and of course Uganda. And we've done several cases in Kenya. We give them a small business like a chicken farm or 2 cows or something that they can, a restaurant catering service, so they can be independent and they can have a monthly income independent. We've done this for Jacqueline. After we give her her house, give her a supermarket that she can also have her own income. Jacqueline is the victim of infertility I mentioned before, which is got her 2 hands chopped by her husband. So this is very, very important program. We've done also a lot of cases in Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, I think. No, Senegal, no. Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria. So these women, you cannot believe, after they will be very dismissive, very sad. They don't even, when they speak to you, don't look into your eyes. But after they got this business and this income, they just, their voice don't change, and even the face and the way they talk, the way they walk, it's completely different. If someone wants to do a study in economic empowerment for women and how they can really empower them, they will see this, because this is coming from even below zero. It's not like a normal person who was just a woman who does not have business. No, she was actually discriminated and mistreated and underprivileged and so on, beaten up to death, and suddenly she became, in 1 month, she became someone else. So it's really, really, really lovely program. I hope that I can continue doing this program. But also, Professor Ashiro, seen them and seen the transformation. Can you please, Dr. Ashiro, mention about it?
I think it's very, very important. It's very significant. What has happened is that, you know, in Africa, the man is the breadwinner and is the provider. And you are married to this man as a woman. And if you are not able to have a child, then you are relegated to a backward position. And maybe even another woman comes in and have children. That's where the focus is. So the woman that is relegated is at the lowest ebb of her life. And when you now come to this woman and you're able to give her an enablement to have ability to have a business, to have a supermarket, she is now taken from a low ebb to a position of importance, where she now is, people now come to her and ask to buy things from her, and they now recognize her as an important woman in the society. And really and truly, what he said is that at the end of the day, when things are at that level, womanhood, it still has significant contribution in life than motherhood. And that is why Mark used the term more than a mother. That is, a woman has more, it's not, you can help children around you, you can be gracious to them. They can call you mother because you are a woman of substance that's able to help them. So this is another level that the Merck Foundation has taken this issue of having babies. That yes, if you cannot, it's not end of life. You can be a woman that can have many children in the community that you can help, and you can even, they will come to you, you can be of help to them because you are now empowered to make your own business. That is the kind of change.
And we always have to remember that I myself don't have children, and I am Mama Africa. So you see,
yes.
So
many people regard you as their mother. Yeah, that is
exactly. All the scholarships and the mentorships and the things, they all consider me as their mother. So a woman can be more than a mother and can contribute to society by many, many ways than only to her children. Maybe if I have children, I will be focusing only on my children and I will forget all the things I'm doing at the moment. So it always have positive end to think. But Dr. Ashiru, when I look at you now and I look at the background, the beach background, I remember I need a holiday.
Yes, you
Really?
do.
Yeah. It's a really lovely,
You
lovely
have done
beach
a lot.
behind you.
Yeah.
It's great. So next question.
So next question is from Walter, Uganda. Walter, can you ask your question, please?
Hi, Walter.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi.
Yeah, so we really know that you believe in creating awareness on social health issues through art and fashion, but we would like to hear from you more on the songs you have created to raise awareness on breaking infertility, stigma, but also I know you're doing some work around female genital mutilation.
Yes.
And I wanted to hear if there is a relation between FGM and infertility.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I will answer the first questions and then I'll leave the last question to Dr. Ashiru to tell us the scientific view of this. If I am not a pharmacist and I'm not CEO of Merck Foundation, I will be sure a director, movie director, or a TV director and a TV presenter and fashion designer. So all this, because I love art so much and I love these things so much, and I see that it can be a very, if you have the passion, can be a very good tool to make a change, a greater culture shift. Because fashion, you carry your own board walking in the street with the message you want to advocate for and you believe in. So you actually walking with yourself, what you believe in can be on your clothes instead of having monogram or logos for a fashion designer that we don't know what he is and who is doing. I mean, you're contributing to make money for him because you're advertising for him. But you can actually advertise for your own beliefs. And this is very important. This is fashion. For art and songs, we have created 25 songs. Not only breaking the stigma of infertility, which was Superwoman and More Than a Mother songs, and the song that is being sent to us by His Excellency, the President of Liberia, Mr. George WIAS, and the song of the former First Lady of Burundi and the current daughter of President of Burundi. But also songs of supporting girls' education, ending GBV, ending child marriage, diabetes awareness, diabetes, no more diabetes song, sugar-free, no more diabetes. It's really, really lovely. We've done it in English, French, and Portuguese. The video clips will be soon, and I will be launching the song in Ghana end of this month or beginning of July. So another songs, like I said, with Kenneth from Uganda and from Sierra Leone, from Rwanda, many artists and in many languages we have done these songs. So I believe the song is very short, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but it can be repeated and can make a change in your subconscious, and young people and children will always repeat it. And when you repeat something very much, you just change. This is the physical law. And it's just, if you repeat something too much, you're saying, singing it, dancing on it, you start to believe in it. So I hope this will create a huge culture shift. About FGM and relation to infertility, Dr. Ashiru, can you answer this? Also, of course,
the problem with
infection and so on. Yeah.
That is the problem with female genital mutilation. It's not done medically. And so the woman has a tendency to have an ascending infection that introduces infection into the fallopian tube and can block the tube. So there's been a linkage between
huge linkage.
Female genital, yes. And
if the mothers know that they are introducing infertility to their girls by doing FGM, they will actually stop doing it, because the law and all laws and religion against it. But It's only cultural issue. But if they know that they're introducing infection and infertility, and no way, it's not there. It is there. There are studies being made about this. They will actually stop doing FGM.
Absolutely.
Next question.
Yeah, next question is from Catherine, Zimbabwe.
Hi, Catherine. Catherine.
I'm asking what does the Merck Foundation have for, say, for the Southern African region? The last time in a webinar, we heard that you'll be selecting one Southern African country. How far have we gone with that? And the second one, it's not a question to you, Dr. Rasha, it's a suggestion. I'm a journalist living openly with HIV in Zimbabwe. We have come a long way because we correct the use of inappropriate language. So I'm suggesting that as alumni, we come up with a glossary of correct words that don't stigmatize infertile couples. Because the word barren, to me, that's stigmatizing. It's incorrect to use that word. So we can come up with a glossary, we can post it up on our WhatsApp virtual forum, and we can keep improving. That's a suggestion. Thank you.
It's a very important suggestion. I like it so much. Harsh, please can you follow up with regarding this suggestion? Very important. Very
sure,
important.
Dr. Rasha.
And I can tell you that we have done similar to this in Namibia, and they came up with glossaries and the thing that should not be used. And it is actually, please, Harsh, look at this. And we had also a training, like a training program for media, and everyone is involved in marriage and what's misconception. But also, this is very important because I'm sure there is other different terminologies in each country. So if we just start with Zimbabwe and maybe with Zambia and other places, and we see what is the local language that is being used to degrade and abuse psychologically women, discriminate them, and we say this is the word that should not be used, like the N word, the F word, the this and that. This would be also the thing that should not be used at all. This is very good. The first question was about selecting. No, we've done a great job in South Africa and Southern African countries. In Zimbabwe, in partnership with the First Lady of Zimbabwe. In Zambia, with a partnership with the First Lady of Zambia and Ministry of Health of Zambia. Botswana, in partnership with the First Lady of Botswana. Namibia, in partnership with the First Lady of Namibia. Actually, in all of the southern countries, African countries, we are in except South Africa. So by all our programs, not only one, it's all, and scholarships are at its best and as the highest number in those countries. In Zimbabwe, for example, around 100 scholarships went to Zimbabwean local doctors. And this is only with the support of the Zimbabwean First Lady, because she pushed to get the right list, and all of them in public sector. And I am coming to Zimbabwe maybe in August. I will see you there. So it would be great, so we can launch our partnership with Her Excellency, the First Lady, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Education. All the ministries are involved in Zimbabwe.
And let me answer the question
in
the chat from Ojoma Akko. What is the name of the new assisted reproductive technology where sperm cell can be developed from other tissues in the body instead of donor sperm? Can you tell us more about this? Yeah, this was developed. There have been a lot of work on this. First of all, they did it in the mice, where they were able to get the sperm cells of the mice to develop from cells from other tissues of the mice, and this was successful. The first level of work done in man was not successful, but in the University of Utah in the US, there are a number of scientists that are now working to make sure this is done. So this was published recently in 2001, and the work is still ongoing. So what we say is that human stem cells, the cellular phase of the stem cells can be produced, and hopefully this is still a step towards resolving the problem of infertility. Hopefully, I believe that in the next 2 or 3 years, we may be able to get a proper result from this. So that is why I said it's in the experimental stage. And a number of centers are now doing this in the US and in China.
Great. Good news. Thank you, Professor Ashiru. Next question.
Yeah, next question is from Never Germelomo.
From where?
She's from Liberia, Dr.
Liberia.
Asha. Liberia, yeah.
Okay.
She just joined back, so she's there. Never?
Okay. Never.
Never, are you there?
Unmute yourself again. Only one click. Unmute yourself, Never. Can someone unmute her?
Never, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, she's here.
It's not unmuted.
Just unmute, Never.
Press on the microphone to unmute yourself, Never. You're doing it twice. Do it only one click. Once.
Maybe you can type the question on the chat.
Type the question on the chat.
Dr. Asha, I have her question. May I read that?
Please.
Many doctors in fertility specialty, how are these doctors contributing to their communities after completing their courses?
No, start the question again. It was not started from the beginning.
Okay. So she said, her question is, we know that Merck Foundation has trained many doctors in fertility specialty. How are these doctors contributing to their communities after completing their courses?
All of them, after the graduation, they go back to their countries, and most of them in public sector. So, of course, they are seeing a lot of cases that they never had care in their home countries before. For example, in Liberia, we've trained several, maybe 5 to 6 people in embryology and fertility specialists. Before that, they were never even one. So, of course, when they come back, same in Sierra Leone, same in Gambia, as I said, when they come back, they start their own work and seeing patients and couples, and they have a lot of success stories that we share through their videos and on our website. So we are very happy. For example, we trained the first staff of the first IVF in public sector in Ethiopia and in Rwanda and in Burundi. The first public IVF sector has been already established. And out of Africa, in Bangladesh, in Myanmar, in Nepal, many countries, in Sri Lanka, one of the first public sectors, all we are training the staff there. So, and we are continuing now, a lot of them in Niger, we trained the first staff of the first public sector. Actually, we trained them and then they established the public sector, IVF sector. And same in Burundi. So Guinea, the same. So no, its impact is you cannot describe it even. It's huge. Dr. Ashiru?
Yeah, that's correct. I think that most of them, the good thing about what Merck is doing, unlike what we used to do in the past, like when we sponsor doctors for training abroad, and they stay there for like 2 years, and then they get a job that they don't want to come back. They have been able to arrange it with the centers that they go there in about 3 to 6 months. It's short, and they can come back to their country and practice. That is a novel protocol that they have used, and I think many people are developing that.
That's why we are doing everything in partnership with the Ministry of Health and or the Ministry of Health and or the First Lady of each country, because they select them and they know by contract. They're still working with them during the training. They come back by contract to work in the public sector or in the country to benefit the people in the country, not brain drain and stay behind looking for other jobs.
Yes.
Very important. Next question.
So now we have next question from Veronica Vaze from Zimbabwe. Veronica, please.
Afternoon, everyone.
Yes. Veronica,
okay,
good afternoon.
Yeah, sorry. My question is probably directed to everyone. It's what suggestions can be made to governments and health ministries across Africa to reduce the burden of infertility and its stigma?
Dr. Ashiro will talk about this.
Well, the first thing is they must have fertility education, and fertility education must start early in life, because infertility is preventable. So if they know that if they have unprotected intercourse, they may be compromising their infertility. That is one. If they know that there's some food that may cause their infertility, they will avoid it. If they know that if they delay their infertility to an old age, they may be compromising their infertility. So many of these things will be highlighted during our presentation next at the summit. And also the fact that government needs to help to provide access to care. So they must set up health centers that have primary care for infertility, secondary care, and tertiary care, which is the IVF. So this must be done. And next is that governments must fund this and must provide insurance for infertility, so that infertility has been declared by United Nations as a human right. And therefore, government must realize that and emphasize it and make it possible for their citizens who have infertility to get treatment.
The first step also they made, and all the Ministry of Health and the governments of the countries, 35 countries we've done, they actually nominated the people who go to this training, the fertility and embryology. And of course, this is in mind that they come back and address these things. This is very, very important that they actually pay attention to building fertility care capacity. For example, latest communication was with Mauritius Ministry of Health. They want to do public IVF, although they have private IVF, but they decided to do one, and they sending all the training, the staff to train with us. So, for example, and this is an example, and so on, all the other countries. So, also, Dr. Ashiro, let us also draw the attention of the media with us here and whoever will see us. We have leaflet materials about raising awareness about infertility. This is male infertility prevention, and here female infertility prevention. So this is very, very, very important. You will find it on our website in 3 languages, English and French and Portuguese. And we will be sharing these materials again with you after this on all the media groups. So please share it in your work in the awareness month, because this is very, very, very important. Please share it. It's very, very important. You can have this in the fertility awareness month. Harsh, we have how many questions we have left?
We have Dr. Rasha 2 questions, 2 people. One is James from Rwanda, and the next one is Benedicta from Ghana. Two people are
And
waiting.
there's also one. There's also one on the chat.
Okay, can you read it, Dr. Ashiru, the chat? The one on chat?
He's talking about the plan for the World Summit. What program is it like?
Okay, you can give them an idea.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The World Summit is the first of its kind, where we're getting all the fertility interest group, like the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, the Latin American Fertility Society, LARA, European Society for Reproductive Medicine, FIGO, which is the International Federation of Obstetrics and Gynecologists, ASPIRE, which is the Asian and the Pacific Reproductive, and the African group. So the world is coming together to talk about their problem and how they have been solving and their contributions towards making infertility to be a household topic, and how they are helping to resolve it. And at the end of this, contributions from, and also patients' interest group will be there. It's going to be a big event. And at the end of this, we will now produce some resolutions coming from each of them. And these resolutions will now be the communique that came out of that summit, which will be broadcasted all over the world. And I think Merck Foundation is,
yeah, we'll have also the Africa Reproductive Care Society participation.
Yes.
Merck Foundation, Giraffe is the French African society, fertility society for all the French African countries. And we also have another fertility society of Ghana.
Yes, the representative, correct.
By Dr. Adam Egazi, and also the fertility specialty of Tanzania.
Yes, and, so many African society presidents will be attending. All of them, all the fertility society are being asked to log in so they can also contribute to this seminar. We have some lead speakers, but this is a summit that will be participated by everybody.
And the first time to be online. That's why it's a very good opportunity that you can see what's happening between all these big shots. So, James from Rwanda.
Yeah. James. James, you can ask your question.
Hello, everybody.
Where are you? Yes. Hello.
My question is directed to Professor Ashiru. What advice can you give to governments and the health ministries across Africa on how to reduce infertility and the related stigma, reducing the burden?
Well, it's a very good question. And for me, the first thing is that there is ignorance is a disease. From my 42 years experience in infertility, you find out that most of the infertility people who come to the clinic, it was because they were not aware that what they were doing could lead to their infertility. Somebody is having a urethral discharge and not seeking immediate help. Somebody is having vaginal discharge. Somebody is not menstruating regularly. These are things you have to be aware of yourself, and government need to make people to know this. And then the next thing is that government need to take special interest in infertility. For a long time, you will see that most government agencies in Africa, they will talk about contraceptive, family planning. But that was because the white people said we should do that. But we have more problems in Africa than family planning. And anyhow, Africa can deal with population. We need it. But For those who are not able to have babies, that is their problem. And so government needs to understand that we are not going to be preaching what the Western world is asking us to do. We need to do what is relevant for Africa. And for Africa, the problem ourselves with infertility is enormous. And we need to help to make them resolved by providing healthcare facilities that can be able to address the very simple infertility, like telling them when to get pregnant or not, to know their ovulation period, to the advanced one, as they have now done with the help of Merck Foundation, having infertility centers that can do IVF, which is the high tech. So these are the things that government should do.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Next question.
So next question, we have a last question from Benedicta from Ghana. You can ask your question.
Hello.
Hello, Benedicta. Are you there?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Where are you?
No, so comfort her. So don't put it today. Bye.
Benedicta. Benedicta, we can hear you. Please ask your question.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. I sent my my questions via chat, but I would want to also speak on it if you would allow me. Okay,
yes,
my question goes
please.
Okay, my question is to Dr. Hope I have the name right. Edgar Mokano, is it right?
Yes, go on.
Yeah.
Edgar, Dr. Edgar.
Dr.
Okay.
Edgar, yeah.
Yes, please. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted to ask low sperm count is often correlated to masculinity of a man. So I wanted to find out whether it is true or is a myth.
No, it is not true. Low sperm count is not, masculinity is due to some hormones. And you can be very muscular and not have the correct sperm. So there's no related. Sperm production mechanism is different from the mechanism that builds your body.
Or
and
sexual ability.
Or your and also your ability to have erectile function and satisfy your woman.
It's too many hormones are attached to different things, and the hormone is responsible for sexual ability or masculinity of the body, and the shape of the body is totally different than formation of sperm and has no relation at all. So no need for any man to worry about the relation between this and this. Totally.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's good to end this with our press conference with this note, because it's a very, very important topic of awareness, if not the most important, really. Because if we resolve this point, we will break the stigma of infertility, totally. Because infertility will be shared responsibility. And it will be a teamwork, and it will be based on love and respect, and join hands together to have a happy family. This is very, very important. And then we will say bye-bye to stress, social pressure, and abuse of the community and families and so on. And we will say bye to ignorance and welcome information and knowledge and everything that can contribute to a healthy society. Dr. Ashiru?
Yes, very correct. And the International Federation of Fertility Society has recognized this And in the last 3 years, we've been producing communication in our website to ensure that we educate. We don't just want to be treating infertility and giving the state-of-the-art technology to treat infertility. We want to prevent it, and we want people to be aware that there are issues that they may do that may compromise their infertility. And all these are in our website, which have been put on the chart. And at the summit next week, we'll be emphasizing this a lot, and you will know a lot of factors that can help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. And we're looking forward to have you with us again on the 24th of June between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. GMT and 5, which is 5 to 7 p.m. Dubai time. It will be live streamed and broadcasted, and you will be able to meet all the experts across the world of infertility. We'll be able to meet Merck Foundation, myself, and Professor Ashiru, as well as Dr. Edgar. And this will be the first online annual World Infertility Awareness Summit, WIAS 2022. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.